which is you tell them how your day is. So they know that, yes, I'm the authoritative figure. Yes, I'm your father, your mother, whoever you're the caretaker. But I also have challenges. I just want you to also, I want to share how I deal with those challenges. And then
give it to me from your perspective. And then just on a certain point to stop and to ask, okay, how did you felt? Okay, you had, for example, a math exam. Okay, yeah, how did you felt? How was your emotional experience about that? And the first time I asked him, he was like, welcome to the Alchemy of Success podcast. I'm Anna.
And I'm Pedro, and this is your podcast for career, personal, and consciousness expansion. So today's topic is really personal to me, and hopefully it resonates with all of you. So part of the things that I do is I mentor and coach kids, young adults. We're talking about ages from 13 all the way up to 26. So the reason I want to discuss this topic is I really want to sort of bring more awareness and share my experiences of exactly what I see based on my coaching sessions and talking to them, and obviously also keeping tabs of what's happening outside our world through social media and everything else that you read and the other publications as well. So the reason it's such an important topic is these guys are absolutely the future of our civilization, future of our countries, future of our jobs, if you want to make it even more micro. So it's so important to understand exactly what are they feeling, what are they thinking, and what are the challenges that they're having. And perhaps as we share these challenges, maybe we could offer some solutions, or at least make you think, make you pause and think. And I would love to obviously get Anna's perspective as we go through this process, because she is a mother. She's going through these cycles. So that personal experience will be absolutely beneficial. So the first thing I would like to expand on is this thing that happened 3 years ago with the virus all over the world has really, really impacted these kids even more than before. So social media has already done a beautiful job of expanding, bringing emotions out, enhancing knowledge depending on how you use it, which we discussed, by the way, in our last episode. So check it out if you haven't seen it. But also it has created this bubble of instant gratification, and has created this bubble of connectivity outside of physical connection. So you could imagine what happened is if we have the ability, or we no longer had the ability to go ahead and go to schools and physically talk to our friends, hang out with our friends, and just have that physical human interaction, it made them even more recluse and more into their minds and really feel disconnected, because they used to hang out, they used to play, and all of a sudden they told they can't do any of this stuff for two whole months, 3 months, 6 months, depending where you live. So this really affected them drastically mentally. So the anxiety that these kids have faced is exponential. It's exponential. And we're sort of seeing the effects. So I'm definitely seeing the effects personally of how they're trying to sort of get back into what we call quote unquote normal, or what is normal actually nowadays, guys. But it's really, really getting back to sort of feeling themselves out and reconnecting with their friends, but also learning how to manage their stress levels. And one of the key things that I would like to discuss as a first point of stress is the word anxiety. It has become so common. Anxiety, think of it saying as hello. Anxiety is another replacement for how's the weather. Anxiety is another replacement for how are you doing. Literally, that word is so prevalent in their language, in their vocabulary. They're embodying the word without even fully understanding the capacity and the impact it has on their physical and mental well-being. But they're so gravitated, they're so connected to that word. Anything, the way they describe anything that they're a little off, it's anxiety. Anything is this.
Can you maybe for the people who are not so aware, what are the kind of what is the definition of anxiety? Because
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
hear it nowadays so much, but yet maybe because I'm not native speaker, sometimes I feel the connection missing about it. I get it, and then I lose it again. So maybe just to just give a short, definition about that. And before you go to this, I just wanted to address something to the people listening to it. And especially if you are parents or you have children around you or you are about to become parents, even if, you believe that, your children are not affected of that, I can tell you from my personal experience, and we can deep dive a little into this after that sometimes our children are affected without we actually understanding it, and it needs a huge dose of understanding the emotional intelligence of the children, or the way how they act, and to be able to really get this out of them. So really, I can encourage you to stick with this episode, to watch it, and to, even if it's just 1-2 points that stick to you, and then go back to your daily life and observe the children. Doesn't matter whether you work with children or you have children around you. And to see how we as a society or as adults can help to shift this, even with a small engagement. Sometimes it's just an open ear enough for this. Sorry, just wanted to put the importance about that, because I know I went through some situation with my son, and I'm very grateful for this, but thanks to my coaching experience, I was able actually to get this information out of him. Otherwise, I think he would have gone a little deeper into this path.
Absolutely. So let's start with the definition of anxiety. It's a feeling of fear, dread, and just anxiousness. And the key thing is there, it's a feeling. A feeling comes and goes. It's supposed to pass. But what's been happening is it's no longer passing. It's becoming a part of them. So anything that feels uncomfortable to them, it's fearful, generates fear. Anything that feels out of place brings them to a heightened sense of not knowing it, so they fall back into their emotions, and it brings up all these other emotions that don't help them out. So it's become so common, so normal to them to use the work, and they try to embody how it actually makes them feel, which is they start becoming more reclusive. They start having panic attacks. Okay. Their breathing pattern changes. And parents, another sign is they start messing around with their nails. They have little ticks, and some of them might be very noticeable. Some of them are very slightly. They start disengaging with their eyes, meaning they can't even look at you straight in the eyes anymore. They keep looking around because everything is a panic of fear. Everything is about the unknown and what's going to happen and how bad the situation is going to be.
But why do you believe that this situation that happens 3 years ago created this? Is it because the interaction has disturbed between the social interaction?
A couple of things. I've even asked them. So a couple of things is, number one, the physical interaction and the connection, just talking to somebody beyond the screen, like literally connecting with somebody, the energy with somebody, just, it's different. It's very different. But number two also is the expression, because how difficult it was for them to actually express themselves to their parents. Because usually when they're at that age, they're going to talk to their friends. I hate to say it, guys, but that's the way it works. So even though you give them
teenager, exactly. So actually, teenager, like, okay, parents are our greatest enemy in the world.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Even though the friend might give them the same advice as the parent, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but that's a very natural process in order to create their own identity that is separate from the parents. So I used to think, okay, why a teenager like that? But that's actually very good to happen, to go through this phase, to hate their parents kind of situation, because that helps them to create a strong identity that is not, entangled with the parents. So it's absolutely natural, even if it's
Absolutely.
hurt as a
Yeah.
parent.
Because they see you guys as the authoritative figures. That's what they see you as, the protectors, the ones who are going to try to help them no matter what. So, but sometimes they need an unbiased opinion. Sometimes they need to just speak without being told or being given advice. Sometimes they just need somebody to hold space for them. And some friends are really good at that at their age because they don't know much themselves. So they also are able to just listen. As adults, we have a difficult time because we know better. We've more experience. Listen to us. We don't want you to commit the same mistakes. But it's different when we're talking instead of just listening. So how do you get a child to open up to you? Just literally sit down and go, hey, how was your day? Just sometimes they're going to start by not telling you anything because it takes a while. If you don't have that relationship, it just takes a while. Hey, how's your day? And Anna could chime in at any time. as I'm giving this, I want Anna to chime in at any time with her personal experience.
Yeah. So my son, since he's born, when I ask him, how is your day? You can imagine it comes like a robot answer. I wake up, I have a breakfast, I went with so he give it like a structure of the day. No emotion, nothing that happens. It just, we had this, but nothing what actually I'm interested in. So this question doesn't work with my son. So if I ask like that, I just get like the structure of the day and that's it. So I needed to learn to kind of understand what is his day about, and then to ask, okay, and did you had some? I started asking, did you fail at something? Is there something that you didn't do good? Where you make some mistake? So that was one of the questions that really helps me understand better my child, or he opens better for me, because his brain works a little different. Like I said, he's like very structured person. And I came across an amazing, question is that I started now to exploring with my child. And that was, if I were you, how would my day how was my day? But, give it to me from your perspective. And then on a certain point to stop and to ask, okay, how did you felt? Okay, you had, for example, a math exam. Okay. Yeah. How did you felt? How was your emotional experience about that? And the first time I asked him, he was like, what? And I say, yeah, were you excited, or were you a little scared, or wasn't sure how to do, So this exercise I heard from one parent lady, and I said, wow, that's so amazing. So I asked him to put me in his shoes and to express like I was experiencing the day. So in this way to express it, and that is, but I really need to pull the words out of his mind, out of his mouth, till he feels it's not about safe enough. It's about, because exactly what Pedro said, he spent a lot of time on the laptop playing games, virtual games. So they don't have actually conversation. It's like writing and it's specific terms, but it's not conversation about emotion. It's not conversation around, like interaction, social interaction. So, it's kind of sometimes challenging to open him to start talking to me. So what I learned is I really need to grab his undivided attention and to really make kind of a dates with him. So like conversation dates where we together do something that we like. Maybe we go out or a walk, grab some ice or whatever. So it's like out of the normal situation. And we just, I start sharing with him, I open for my day. I start sharing situation that you normally don't talk to you with your child because we expect them to share with us. But how often do we share our day with them? So we see us like we are here, like Pedro said, we're the provider and the children are here and they need to share. But the way how I overcome this is I brought him on my level, or I went, it's like we are on eye level. So that means when I want him to share something, I'm the one starting sharing, and even sharing my mistakes, even sharing my failures, even sharing where I didn't felt good. And when I start doing this, he started opening more. And now we have a beautiful conversation. Of course,
And that's
sometimes I still
exactly
need to pull him out.
and that's exactly what I was gonna say, Anna, is you need to speak. If your child doesn't open up by you just asking how their day is, the second thing is exactly what you just did, which is you tell them how your day is. So they know that, yes, I'm the authoritative figure. Yes, I'm your father, your mother, whoever you're the caretaker. But I also have challenges. I just want you to also, I want to share how I deal with those challenges. And then do the thing that I don't know how many people do, but I do. I ask some questions. How would you handle that? Oh, now you're empowering the child to be involved in their own emotions and understanding how they're feeling about certain things. Because it's easier to give an opinion about somebody else's feelings than it is about your own. So you're allowing them to bring forward their opinion, their perspective, and their experiences that would also give you clues as to what they might be going through without even them telling you directly. Because how we think is based on our experience. So if they see a very negative opinion, then they're going through a lot of challenges. If they see a very positive one, maybe then that they're not that bad in that state of mind. But you're empowering the child, saying, "Oh my God, I have a voice. I can also be heard by my mom and dad." And the kids that I mentor and the parents that I talk to that tried this, they've told me that it's been very helpful in allowing them to communicate even better. Because it brings you to what Anna said, it brings you to their level. You're no longer that 7-foot person that's been taking care of them for all their lives. You're actually looking them eye to eye, just like their friends, which is why they talk to their friends.
Oh, my son is almost as big as me. So.
Okay.
So.
I mean, mentally.
Okay. So
true.
like
my granddaughter's almost as tall as me. She's only 9. I know what you mean.
Yeah. But when I can add something to this, my personal experience, I just put it now very shortly in this. I started experimenting last year, and I spent almost 1.5 months with him in my country where I'm born with my family in Bulgaria. And every evening, like around 9, because it was summer, so like around 9, 10, when it was dark, we just went for a walk around the whole neighborhood. And when you know that when you move, emotions are energy and motion, and when you move your body, you can process better the emotion. Actually, I find out that when we were having this late night walk, and after that, he sit on a small swing, there was some swing. So he was like swinging like a small child, even if he's not anymore so small for the swings, but kind of managed to sit there, and, he was moving, and we were having conversation about God and the world, about black holes and universe and quantum physics and whatever, even if he was back there 11 years old. So I really find out to take this time out where there is no distraction like phones and any, other, technology where he liked to play, and to engage. So that means when we walk, there is no other way beside to walk, you cannot play a game during walking, or you cannot oh, mom, I prefer to watch YouTube video. You're outside. And this night walks, after few days, I got from him the feedback to tell me I really love our late night walks. where it's undivided attention. Because sometimes when I asked him something, I was still engaged in cooking or doing something else. So it wasn't even undivided attention. What our children are actually looking, especially when they experience this kind of insecurity, anxiety, and so on, is to have our undivided attention, and to know that when they share something with us, we are really listening. We're really present and not just asking for the sake of asking.
Exactly. And it's just I'm going to do a quick little thing or a reminder for everybody. It's in another episode that we discussed in the past. How to listen is different. Listening does not mean the child's talking to you and you're looking at your cell phone or you're handling a business or no. That's not listening, because you have to be present to listen. And trust me, your child would know if you're listening or not. And they will make assumptions that every time I talk, if you don't actually properly pay attention, put your phone down and actually look at them and talk to them as you would any person that's really important in your life, as you should, they will know that. And guess what? They start forming a generalization that every time I talk to mom or dad, I know when I speak, they're not going to listen. So why do I bother?
Why should I
So
engage?
they start
right.
closing up again. Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. And that happens because we're busy. We're super busy. We're adults. We understand these things, why we do certain things. I'm just letting you know that from their perspective, the kids that I've spoken to, the kids that I mentor, and also everything that I start reading, because as I deal with younger people, I absorb a lot of information so I could be the best that I can be for them. This is a really crucial step. Listening is a crucial step. And why? I go back to the original definition of anxiety. Anxiety is a feeling of fear. What is fear? The unknown. What we don't know, we fear. It's our natural state of being as human beings. It's encoded in our DNA. Fight or flight. Remember, we also had this conversation. Fight or flight. That's what fear is, not understanding what the known is, what's going to happen in the future. Or freeze. Exactly.
Not
the
moving
evolution
at
of
all.
that. Procrastination.
Mhm.
It bleeds into our daily lives.
Yeah.
So this is what the kids are going through. If they don't have a consistency with communication, they don't have a consistency of connection, which is why this thing that happened 3 years ago is so impactful to them. Because remember, they've been used to going, hanging out, interacting with them in school and all these. And all of a sudden, they had to stop cold turkey for an extended period of time. That's a jolt in their system. How they're thinking, how they're feeling, what's going on. Imagine what's going on. They don't understand the gravity of it. What's going on? Why do I have to all of a sudden stop? I can't visit my friend Mike from the other door, the other house, whatever it is. So they went through all of that and they're starting to come out of it. But anxiety becomes such a known word and such an embodiment that they're applying it for anything, any small challenge. And they go back to the actual physical symptoms of it. And that's where it gets concerning to me and to the parents as well, who are obviously reaching out to me to help their children. This is absolutely crucial to actually attack it from different fronts and really understand and help them understand that there's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear.
I think
so. It's really go ahead.
Sorry, do you think they feel because this situation doesn't affect just the children? When you look the numbers of burnout, depression, anxiety in adults, and that all the professionals, people are like blocked for months and years ahead. There's also technology coming up where you can actually have a AI therapist on your behalf on your phone, just in order to help you overcome this kind of anxiety if it's at the night. So again, referring to our episode last time about the humanization of technology, that's something good where technology can help, because at night you don't have your expert there. But do you believe that for the children it's even more challenging, because actually especially the age that you mentioned, starting from like 13, and above, that most of them get hit into the time where they were actually creating this social interaction on their own. So because we as adults, to some level, we already learn social interaction. So we were able to keep off at least on some level engaging. But for the children, they were in the process of building this social interaction.
And the identity. They're building their identity.
Yeah.
So they're going through this process of understanding, oh, this is who I am. This is how I interact. This is the people I like to hang out with. These are how I
Boys,
relate with my
girls
parents.
interaction and so on, all of
Exactly.
this, you know, like this,
And
you
all of
know,
a sudden,
or the first friend, the first boyfriend, the first girlfriend, suddenly, oh, no. Digital boyfriend.
And then, wham. Exactly. And then it stops. So it's a finding of the self of who are they in that crucial age period. For adults, to your point, yes, we did go through the stress levels. I was working through the whole pandemic, and there was a lot of stress because people also didn't know, oh, how do I do this? We were also going through it as adults.
Of course.
But we figure out a way. Because we have more experiences. We know what we can do as far as challenges are concerned. But they're in that crucial age where they're trying to find themselves, who they are. So to throw a big monkey wrench it's more of a deviation. Like, oh, what's happening? What's going on? So because they're learning who they are, they're also adopting all these new feelings, which is anxiety is one of them.
And
these new feelings of who they are.
Yeah,
Exactly.
as their identity.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's not like just a short term, you know, I feel it shortly and then I overcome it, but it becomes a part of my identity.
Exactly.
Okay, I've got you.
So you're shifting in from a feeling to a permanence. A feeling is temporary, but it's more of a self of who they are is a permanence. And then you hear other words that they're constantly saying is depression. And these are serious things. I mean,
childhood,
depression.
You know what I mean? It's
childhood.
in childhood.
Yeah, as children. This is sad. When I hear these, this is sad. So I'm just trying to bring awareness to this topic because I see it so frequently, so often. And frankly, I even see clothes on right now that are being marketed and publicized with these words. I mean, anxiety, and they're proud of being depressed. And like, oh my God, no. This is trending. This is trending.
And that's why it's very important if I can talk to you as a mom. I know that in USA you have more open culture around, you know, since years, like visiting psychotherapists, psycholog, or all this kind of stuff. In Europe, where I come from, and now I'm in Dubai here in UAE, it's not the common ground. It's not the common praxis. So for me, when I had challenges with my child, and he had a little different base for the challenge, so it was he was kind of say it, a victim of bullying in the school. That actually, thanks to that, what happens to the lockdown, I found that out because he started telling some words about himself where I was like, where did that come? Neither me nor your father ever told you you're stupid, you're not able. I always tell him, you can everything. And if you cannot do something, you can just learn it, you know? And suddenly he starts, I cannot do it. I'm stupid. Where did that come from? You know? So it came out that a boy in the school, he was back there, second class going into the third, has bullying him, you know? So I started looking for first by myself to see, okay, how can I handle the situation? But actually my son has a coach. He has someone because, as Pedro said, even if I have an amazing relationship with him, really, and he shared a lot with me, really extraordinary. I had the feedback from his coach where he said, normally at this age, he's now going into the 13, the children doesn't share so detailed information. So I kind of lucky me establish a good relationship with my son. But yet for me it was important to give him an opportunity to have someone who's neutral, who has the expertise where he can share his thoughts, he can share his experiences, without the feeling, because sometimes when he talks to me, he doesn't want to hurt me or he doesn't want to hurt his dad. So that's why sometimes he's very emotional. His emotional intelligence is very high. So that's why he always think about everybody and not himself. So that's why for me it was very important to find a coach that can work with him through this. And yet, as Pedro said, this time created kind of, he expressed it as my thing. He called it my thing, that he has something within his body that is not allowing anybody from outside, especially if it's not a part of the family. So it's not a near part already included into the heart, to enter his system, and it fights it. And how I find out that this problem exists is, as we found a cat on the street. He wanted to have so badly an animal at home, so pet. So I organized everything. I brought this cat from Bulgaria to Germany. He was very happy. And suddenly I started seeing him acting very strange with the cat, sometimes with a hidden aggression. And he's actually not aggressive person at all. Very empathic child. And I observing this and questioning, but she's, no, it's nothing. No, it's nothing. No, it's nothing. It's the way how I talk. So you explain that it's not good for a cat. You explain till one night. It was almost 12 a.m. at night, you know. I picked him and I say, okay, you're not going to bed till I understand. And I give him the space and I like sit with him like really 1.5 hours till he finally shared that this emotional body that has been created within him doesn't allow anybody from outside, because as Pedro said, the social interaction has been cut for him at the age of 9, 10, you know, doesn't allow anybody from outside to enter his heart, to allow it to become a part. And that was the alarming point where I say, okay, I need to find an additional specialist next to the bullying part to really, and even there he said, no, this emotional body, this thing within me doesn't allow to talk with a coach. So strong. And he acted completely normal. It was just his interaction with the cat that brought me through to this idea that something is not. So it's very important to observe, is there some interaction that is, and I don't want to say that every child that sometimes, play a little too harsh with the pet or so on it has something, but this was a little to observe this emotion, because sometimes playing harsh and sometimes the emotion of aggression that I saw there it's a different frequency. It's a different, you see it into the way. So learn to observe the children and to really sometimes to force them kind of in a good way, of course, to talk to us by we opening, by me sharing how I feel in this situation. I told him, you know what? I love you infinite. And I also love the cat now. And it hurts me to every time to keep on reminding you, you shouldn't act like that. I don't feel comfortable to be the bad guy in this situation. So I share my emotion, how I felt in the situation, how I experience, this interaction between me and him and the cat. So I opened myself. So I was able to show myself vulnerable in this situation and to show him that there is nothing wrong when he share why he feel this way or other way.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And you just express exactly what some of the real challenges are between parent and child. It's no matter what you can do. It's just you have to try many different ways. Every child is different. Every child is different because everybody has a different identity. So
Do you have
yeah, that's
like,
really important.
we share already, like one way is about really going deep and having this conversation and so on. The second way is, of course, search for a professional expertise. I can definitely recommend you, Pedro, if if you have this challenging, because he has a huge understanding for children. So, is there something like also something small that you can put on a daily basis to help the children to, what you give these children, how they can kind of overcome this, where just maybe the parents either share this episode with them, this one piece. So if they don't want to listen to the parents, but maybe, what you're sharing here, or a small tips and tricks, how, something can help them, understand this feeling and understand that it's nothing that you need to keep within yourself the whole time.
So the first thing I would say to the kids is always, it's okay to have a feeling. But what is a feeling? A feeling is something that has to come out at times. It's an emotion. It's okay to express it, but don't hold it in. Definitely don't hold it in. Just go ahead and express it and speak it to whoever you need to speak it to. And the other person will be understanding. But remember that it's a feeling. It comes and it goes. Nothing's impermanence. Nothing stays forever. Even laughter. How long can you laugh? Can you laugh for 30 minutes straight without gasping for air? Can you laugh without your ribs hurting or your stomach hurting? Can you laugh for an hour straight? No, we can't. So even the really positive things we can't do in permanence all at once. So such is life, the same thing. Not everything is permanent. So honor your feeling, acknowledge your feeling that it's coming, but also honor it that it could also go. It could also leave. If you really believe that, then you don't have to worry about the future because the future hasn't even been set yet. A feeling is what happens at that moment. So be present in that moment for yourself. If you want to explore, explore. If you want to cry, go ahead and cry. If you want to have a scream, go ahead and scream. But just understand that you are able to do whatever you want within yourself, of your own emotions, of your own body. You are the one who's in control of all of that. So when you need to express, express. But remember, nothing is permanent. Nothing's permanent. So this feeling of anxiety, this feeling of what you call depression, what you call sadness, doesn't have to be permanent either. So let it come, but let it flow. Let it go. And I like to give them images. So just imagine allowing yourself, you're in there in the woods. Kids love nature. You're in the woods, and as you walk around, you turn around, you see in the corner of your eye, beautiful waterfall. And now as you get closer, you hear it even roaring. It's beautiful. It's magnificent because you see a rainbow right next to it. So imagine that waterfall as it's cascading all the way down. It's flowing down to the bottom. It starts flowing, keeps going, keeps going. And it just keeps going. Who knows how long? It could be a mile, 2 miles. It's really long. It just keeps going. The waterfall doesn't just stop and stay in one point. It keeps flowing, keeps generating, keeps moving. It keeps moving, keeps living, keeps moving on. Keeps impacting all these little fishes, little tadpoles at the bottom. They're benefiting it from it because it's actually moving. It's flowing. It's going, all these different things. Our feelings are the same way. Allow them to just flow. Let them flow. Let them bring life. Let them bring life to you. So just honor your feeling, understand it, pause, acknowledge it, but also remember that it's not permanent. It's just something you're going through. It's not really who is going to define you. It's not that. You're not that person. You're so amazing that you have all these other different traits besides just being anxious at one point or besides just being sad at one point. You have this beautiful laughter. You have this beautiful joy. You have the beautiful innocence. You have all these things going for you. You have this intelligence. You have all these things. So don't focus on that being permanent within you or being a part of you permanently. You are beyond that. You're much more than that. So what I always tell the kids, I embody them with empowerment, that they are in control of themselves. And I give them motivation that they can do whatever they want by understanding they're just flowing and growing and they're expanding. Just like that waterfall, it keeps expanding. It could become a lake. It could become a massive river. It could go into the ocean. Just let it flow. And when they start understanding this, they honor and they're more self-aware of what's really anxiety versus just having a rough day. So, meaning, I don't have to start breathing really shallow. My breath is going to be more in control because I'm diminishing that. Right away, I'm diminishing it because I'm in control. I go back to knowing that I'm the one who's venting all these emotions. And there's another little exercise that I tell everybody. I'm going to tell everybody right now that really works for a lot of people, not just kids. All right. So fear is the unknown, correct? Okay. So fear is usually based on something that you've experienced. It's not a phobia. So there's a difference between fear and phobia. Fear is something tangible that you experience. Therefore, you know, the memory tells you, oh, that's bad. So you should be scared. Whatever happened to you, whatever age it happened to you.
The dog
phobia is you're scared. Exactly. So that's natural. If a dog bites you when you're young, you're like, of course you're going to be scared of dogs. Totally rational. Okay, guys? But a phobia is something that's irrational. You're scared of holes. You have a phobia against holes. Like holes freak you out. Like you're petrified of holes. You sometimes you fear of snakes that you've never even seen a snake, but you're petrified of snakes. Okay, it's a phobia. Now, fear. If you have fear about something, say it's the unknown, the future, okay, based on your past experiences that things don't go well, I want you to go ahead and close your eyes. That's what I tell the kids. Close your eyes. And when you close your eyes, see that thing that you say is fearful. Go ahead and you have the power. This is the key words, guys. You have the power to make it bigger. And you have the power to make it even bigger. Keep expanding on that fear. Remember, you have the power to make it bigger. Because you have all that power, you could also make it smaller. So go ahead and try that. I want you to make it smaller. That's right. You have the ability to do this as well. Now make it smaller. See how the image just gets smaller and smaller? Now make it so small. It's like a little pea, a little pebble. And now flick it. So allow them to understand that they're so empowered of themselves that what I make big, I can also make small. I'm always in control of myself.
Well, what I like to use sometimes is to make something so funny, so ridiculous funny. Mm-hmm. Like imagine you're scared from your geography teacher for whatever reason, just imagine them with a huge, I don't know, Mexican hat and having like a clown like nose on it, or so like really make it ridiculously funny. That sticks also to the mind. So every time when you laugh at something or you find something funny, you cannot be afraid of it at the same time, So that, very, very, very beautiful, tips that you can share with your children. Maybe one of my experience that really I saw a huge shifting in my child was to actually bring him to sport. So he's training something like judo. So it's a combination of it, but it's more created for self-defense. Because you remember I told you that, he had a challenge with bullying. But what you learn in these classes there, you learn also a lot of mindset. All this Eastern, fight, arts include a lot of wisdom about compassion, about, structure, about discipline, about, really good character traits. So you learn how to protect yourself, but that's always the last step. What they first learn is how you can, with the feelings or with the wording or with your body, just with your body language, how you can change and shift the emotion, or even make a situation that looks very challenging, less challenging. So that means when children are brought back into their bodies, because that is also what happens is when they stay at home, they didn't have so much movement. So when we bring children back into their bodies, and especially in this kind of light, Eastern arts fights, they start embodying this courage, this strength, this attitude of like, okay, I can cope everything that comes across, I know I grew up with films with Jean-Claude Van Damme, or Karate Kid and all of this. So, okay, when they can do it, I can do it. And for the girls, if they don't want to, but there is a lot of girls, doing this kind of sport, but if they don't want, for example, bring them to like dance classes, like Zumba, like, something that brings a lot of to have a body that is straight, like salsa, like bachata and so on. Because when you have your body straight upwards, and especially that is one exercise, you can take your child and make them just 1 minute to have his arms straight and just stays and has the arm straight and look upwards. And you cannot look upwards and feel scared. Your body doesn't allow you. Physically, this posture means I'm a victor. I achieve a victory. I'm like the world champions. So the body doesn't allow you to feel anxiety and fear when you stay like that. It doesn't work. You can try it by yourself. Stay in front of the mirror, put your hands up, look upwards and stay for 1-2 minutes, and then ask yourself whether you feel fear or you feel like, wow, I can cope with everything. Use the body. The body is amazing next to that what Pedro shared with the visualization and acknowledgement, but use the body. When you change your body posture, your emotion moves, because emotion is energy in motion.
That's right.
And I know my child hates me sometimes when I do this, but when he's in a really bad mood and doesn't want to come out, I just force him. And the first seconds he's like, ugh, but you see how quickly his face changed. Completely.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, nobody likes something that they're not comfortable with at the beginning. That's just human nature. So.
No, because he likes to stuck into this emotion, in this victim emotion. Oh, I'm now a victim, so I'm gonna,
exactly. Yeah. Look. Everybody's wrong except me.
You are wrong.
Yeah.
Teenager.
Yeah.
And nowadays they go even early in the teenage age. Yeah. So I really hope that if you have children around you, even if you don't have your own children, but, maybe you're an auntie or uncle or whatever, in some shape or form, you have children around you, just pay attention and, just sometimes few minutes of undivided attention, of like acknowledging their emotions, of acknowledging them, giving them appreciation, because in these years they didn't really get the appreciations as they normally gonna do, when they're in the schools and so on. So they can feel valued again. They can feel seen, heard, and that, to understand that life is beautiful. But of course, we need also to start with ourselves, to acknowledging, do we feel it ourselves? And if not, that's another topic.
Yes. That's young adults and then parents.
That's another topic. We are not going into this path here in this conversation. Maybe in some future conversation, I can share my own path of, shedding all these layers, so I can be a better mom, better parent, and also better friend, So it's like everything starts with ourselves.
That's right.
Thank you, Pedro, for the work that you're doing with these children and young adults, that you made it as a mission for you to do it. So really, I want to share my deep appreciation because I know how much hard work you put into these children. And that's why it's so important to talk a little more about the challenges with the children.
Yeah. And they gave so much back to me.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, when I see them being successful in their lives, it just motivates me to continue doing it. So yeah. It's a back and forth.
Definitely. Thank you all for joining us in this conversation. Maybe a little different topic than the normal one, but hey, Alchemy of Success, it's about all the areas of life. And, especially if your parents have children around you, me personally, I cannot be happy if my child is not happy. It's like, or at least, I cannot completely feel satisfied and have my day with ease. So that's why everything is a part of success. And for some people on this earth, success means to be an amazing parent. So success is not just a definition of like money, career, and how many followers you have on social media. Everyone has a personal definition of success. And these are also the topics that if you ask me, meanwhile, for me, even more important than the success in a career or any other point of view. So
I agree with you, my friend.
With all of this said, thank you for being here. And if you have parents in your environment, you can definitely are invited to share this episode with them and maybe to help more children to become the support they deserve to become from us adults, as we created all this. Not the children. They're just the kind of the victim of system or what we have brought through now. And they will be the one to clean up the mess after us. So let me at least do our part and help them.
Yes. Let's create the space that allows them to see how amazing they are.
I love my child. He's so intelligent. Really. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for watching. Click on one of the videos below and don't forget to like and subscribe.